Hello fans of books and beer, Walter Bowne here for my fourth installment of A Book and a Beer. I'm drinking a Spellbound Porter Palo Santo, aged in those great Palo Santo wood-aged barrels. And the porter was originally created in the early 18th century in London, and was called a porter mostly because river porters and street porters would drink this beer. You know, hopped, brown, malt. But if my boy Washington or Hamilton, I don't think Jefferson would drink beer. But if they had this porter, I think they'd stop being deists and said, no, there is indeed a God who created this beer for my mouth, because this is so incredibly delicious. Shout out to Spellbound. This thing's amazing. The only other one I've had that's like a Palo Santo is Dogfish down in Delaware, which is double the APV. Still excellent. But this is only 6.9, and it's just malty, dark. It's just roasty. It's, if you love something dark, well, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Okay, so I'm talking about porters created in London, and the books I have today, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Nathaniel Philbrick in the Hurricane's Eye? Is it going to be Chernow's Washington? Very heavy. Or Washington's Farewell, Jen Avalon? Well, if you can tell by my title, it's going to be in the Hurricane's Eye. So even though we can thank London and the Brits for creating this wonderful drink that we've improved dramatically, we needed to beat them. And where else but down there in Yorktown in Virginia. So when you get to Williamsburg and you go to Busch Gardens, when all this COVID craziness is over, we can travel Jamestown, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, but take the extra day or half a day. Drive out to Yorktown, see the redoubts, and I'm such a nerd that I actually pretended to be Alexander Hamilton in one of the redoubts because he wanted to be a soldier. He was the aide-de-camp to Washington, and Washington needed him as, of course you know the musical, if you read the book Hamilton, but he wanted to prove himself on the battlefield. And he did. He charged and brought his men over the top, and was pretty lucky he didn't get shot. But I'm such a nerd, I think I've done that twice. Not just once, but twice. Okay, but, this fire's getting, let me turn it down a little bit. There we go, let me turn that down. Okay, Nathaniel Philbrick, great author. I've read Mayflower. That is a great book. I've also read, what else did I read from him? I wish I had my camera. Who's my authority here? Okay. Oh, Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill's another great book. Now, what I love about books like this is that you can read a biography of Washington, which I encourage you to do. There's many out there. I think there's one brand new one out there. I was just listening to Terry Gross. Not too many female historians of Washington. I have to, maybe I could put it below the new book. I think there's only been 2 or 3 women historians of Washington, and that's significant, which I could talk about in another lecture if you listen to the lecture or the interview with Terry Gross. But if Yorktown might be like this chapter, but in a book like this, you get a much more developed picture. So you need both. You need the broad view, and then if you're want to take a look into, all that went into with Lafayette and the French, and what needed to happen for all the stars to align and to get the French finally to be where they needed to be at the exact time, and for Washington to have his troops marched from the north all the way. This was not easy. Okay, down through the Chesapeake, It's not easy even today getting from New Jersey down to Virginia through 95. But you know, marching and the secrecy that was needed for this. This book is very, very good, especially if you love history. I'm dressed. My wife. Ooh, I'm missing a button. My wife made this. Of course, it's my like colonial garb. It looks like a Seinfeld's pirate shirt, but don't knock it because it is really comfy, especially when I'm wearing the not the jeans, but the the pants. Let me have some notes here about this book. When I was reading it, I have a. Wow. I have a. What is this? Bifocals. Oh boy, this is a. This is a bill. I think I paid this. Dermatology. Oh boy. 2018, so you can see when I read this. All right, man accidentally kills woman. What? Treehouse metaphor for life. Men living in tree houses. Man collects people to help, then one by one cuts them away to get what he wants. What the heck? This might be notes for like a story I was writing. Obviously, it wasn't that good because I didn't write it. But I don't know if I have any other notes here. Oh, I have a receipt for LabCorp. Blood work came out okay. But anyway, in the hurricane's eye, the genius of Yorktown, George Washington and the victory at Yorktown. It's interesting to think about, especially if you pair it with looking at Washington's farewell address and what Washington tells us about entangling alliances when we needed an alliance. We needed the French to help us win at Yorktown. Yet, just like the Brits needed us to help win against the Nazis. So there's, I guess, a time to be, isolationist and let's just worry about us. And there's times to like, okay, let's help our friends. I'm glad we didn't help the French in the French Revolution. I think Jefferson wanted to do that, but that's another book. Now, read this book, get down to Yorktown, learn about your history, and also, if you can also enjoy like a really good beer like this, it is so good. All right, my friends, be safe out there, and read as much as you can, and take care. And until next time. If you have a tip, like, okay, bam, you like these books, you like these types of beers, right? If you got some tips, hey, I got time. I'm teaching, but then I have the time in the garden, time to read books, and time to enjoy a beer by the fire. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Walter Bowne here, just chilling out with the fire. I started this new book, Midnight in Chernobyl, drinking a Fuego from Tonewood. I will let you know how Midnight in Chernobyl is doing. I mean, of course, it's an international bestseller, so I don't really need to promote it too much. But so far, 20 pages in, I'm already hooked. Love it. And of course, Fuego by Tonewood speaks for itself. It's just always solid. Always available. Take care. Bye-bye.